What the fuck's happening, people? Welcome to the General Banter Podcast. On today, that is the 21st of August. Okay? 21st of August. Not gonna lie to you, people, this is the second time I've tried to record this fucking heap of shit. I recorded earlier. I was filming, and had an SD card error 2 or 3 times. So here we are on whatever attempt this is to try and get through this fucking podcast, guys. Fuck me. I need a producer. Do you know what I mean? Shane, Todd, and Dave Elliott, they're all like, oh, I'm a producer. This producer's doing all the filming and shit. That's what I need. I need some fucking camera monkey to sit there and film it. And then edit it all together. You know what I mean? I don't have to sit here all day and edit after. I just fucking do a podcast. I could do another podcast. I could be like, here's your podcast. I'll wait and fuck with this monkey boy. And then I'll come back. You know what I mean? I'll just keep it. Now, unfortunately, this camera, unless some nerd out there knows how to change it, will record for 20 minutes and 10 seconds. And so I imagine I'll have to stop this podcast like 2-3 times. Maybe a battery. You won't notice it. It'll just go, I'll be back in a second. Click. I'll be back in a second. Click. You know? Then we plug some shit. August is a weird month. It jumps a wee bit. Notice how there's no music this time, because someone sent me a message saying, definitely don't play music in the background of your podcast. And I'm like, okay, had you said, how's it going, mate? I really feel like you should not play music in the background of your podcast, as it is a bit distracting from what you say. I'd be like, that's an absolutely fair point. But because when you come around and go, definitely don't play music in the back of your podcast, I want to fucking force myself in your mouth is what I want. You know? That's what I want. And so yeah, Lavery's there. Yeah, August skips a couple of weeks, so Lavery's is on the 5th of September. We're gonna have a sweet lineup for that. A few more announcements. London tickets will be going on sale soon for the 12th of October. Any London folk, I'll be there for one show only. Last year we did 2 shows. This year we'll probably only do 1 because whatever way they're booking things set up, they've only got 1 show available, and it's only 80 tickets, so it'll sell like that. Okay. London tickets are on sale. There'll be tickets going on sale soon for the 2 big Limelight shows, 26th, 27th of October, for the show Transblender, which will be like a fucking multimedia just riot. It's gonna be fucking sweet. Taking photos for that today. And that's about it, folks. If you're looking General Banter, if you're looking General Banter merch, there's a new order put in. It'll be available for pre-order on the 25th, and I'll be receiving them on the 28th or something like that. So 3 or 4 days later, they'll be posted out. Okay, so there you have it. That's about all. That's about all I've got for you up front. I'll play this fucking intro and take a drink and get ready to do this shit all over again.
The General Banter. Colin Geddis.
Right about here, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get yourself and your soul together. This man will make your liver quiver. This man will make your bladder splatter. Let's all welcome the world's godfather soul,
Colin Geddis.
It's Geddis, actually.
Geddis.
Geddis.
Geddis. Geddis. Geddis.
Fuck you. There you go. What I forgot to do before I looked this up was actually go on a porn site, because, you know, it's one of those days. It's one of those days where we got all that shit. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can go in my fucking bios here. In my photos, because I screenshotted it. Let me see if this works. Let me see this here. If I can find this. Scottish Slut Outdoors. Let me see. I hope. Alright. Someone has sent me this. This is the first time I'm going to watch this. Hopefully the internet works. Didn't work last time. This is 5 minutes long.
I just know.
Put your hand.
Smoking a fag.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the good stuff. Go. Screw for camera.
Oh.
So the two of them.
That's it. We can hear it.
Didn't take long this week, did we? Straight into the
Oh,
port.
good. Oh, good. Go. Jamaica, come. You go.
The two of them are fucking smoking, and this guy's like,
Paul, take off gum.
Paul's got a bird.
Aye, I know.
Paul's just the video camera here. Hey, come on, the video's still rolling.
Yeah.
Hey, go, give me, wait a minute. Give me a sexy dance.
I'm not done.
Go, suck your dick or something then.
give him a sexy dance. No, suck his dick. All right.
Well then do that. Look, the video's still rolling.
This guy's worried about how much fucking room he's got on his card here.
Who gives a fuck? She's with your brain. She's a car brainer. Aye, we staying car brain. Go, yeah, you love it and see fat boys give it big licks, don't you?
Yeah. Like, let's
Yeah.
find me.
I'm going to come soon.
Find me.
I'm going to.
Go, aye, that's it. Yeah, she's telling you to pound her. Go on, my old son! And there! She'll no mercy, get in the head, punch her in the kidney or something.
I love the fact that this guy is like I would hazard to say they're all on smack, but here the guy's like fucking
Punch her in the kidney or something.
He's coaching he's like ringside at a fucking MMA match. Fucking punch her in the kidney, man. That's it. Fucking.
Go, squeal. Squeal for the camera. That's it, stuff. Squeal louder.
I'm going to pound my heart off.
Go on! You call yourself a man, you faggot!
You're fucking dumb.
You call Eric, go with the train getting by! Go! Oh! Yeah!
I'd love to know where they are. Like, are they just behind a wall in a park somewhere and people are walking past and they're like, oh, you can't fucking punch her in the kidney!
They're not at all.
Right, come up, hurry up, there's not much video left. Go, back in, mate. Right in for the cum shot. Get your t-shirt out of the way, you faggot, you.
Get your t-shirt out of the way. I don't know what I'm watching here. I mean...
Pound me.
Pound her! She's begging for it, ain't you? See, you're begging for it. Is that as good for you, brother? Yeah, that's it. Get him! You... Right.
Fucking.
Oh, I got it! Hey, is that just him? You dirty came in her bag, no in her bum.
What the fuck do I want? Oh! You came in her back. Like, she pops off, runs away, and he just jizzes and her handbag's in the floor. He's like, you came in her back. You came in her back, not her bum. Oh, fuck me. What sort of depraved lifestyles are these people?
Hey, yeah, that's it. Jizz, where are you? You want your bum at least?
Wiping her bum with a leaf.
I give you more cup and you stab somebody to that.
You just sharked her and she wiped her bum at least?
Come up, my man, here, bro.
Oh, no, you just had to flung it away. You don't want to wipe my lolly, remember, when I done your arm?
Yes, love.
I'm just getting a wee shot at your bum.
Oh, it doesn't.
Aye, open your bum cheeks up. Let's see the brown bit.
Open your bum. Right. Who the fuck sent me that? I don't even know. It's all fun and games when Mickey's here, you know, and we're watching these clips, and then when someone sends me one, oh, you should have watched this. I'm just like, now I feel sad that I've watched that, and slightly sick. I've had a lot of fucked up clips this week. Somebody sent me a fucking some wee Indian boy just sucking water up his asshole and squirting it out. And everyone's standing around going, like cheering and shit. And I was just like, how the fuck? Like anything, you know what I mean? Like someone's drinking a latte, you're like, who sucked a cow's tits first? You know, to find out that you get milk. I know you probably watched like, you know, young calves suckling, and you're like, I bet you that tastes good. But like the wee boy just sucking water up into his asshole out of a puddle. It was a puddle too. He's in a deep, deep squat, and he's just like, he's giving himself a colonic in a fucking stinking puddle in India. It's one of the few places in the world where, like, I'm sure what you think is clean water going in your asshole is dirtier than the shit that will come out of your asshole. So anyway, the wee boy's just squirting, and everyone's standing around laughing at him. And you're like, how did that? Were they bathing him as a baby? And they're like, there seems to be a lot less water when you take you out. And then this is what my life has become. I feel like when I was back doing one podcast a week, you know, I could keep a certain amount of quality. I could filter out the shit. Pardon the pun. And now, you know, I just got to use everything that gets thrown at me. And I'm just waiting. I'm watching a girl wipe jizz off her butt with a leaf. You know, in fucking wherever the fuck that is. Wherever fucking Scottish dump that is. You know? I used to live in Glasgow. I seen some fucked up shit. It's a weird town, you know? It's either quite cool and, you know, full of hot people, or it's like just, you know, a 7-seater will pull up and everyone that gets out has had some sort of diabetes amputation, and the car is hotboxed with fag smoke. You know, it's like that girl on Love Island. It's like, I'm 29, and you're like, you're fucking 50. You know? Or else, you know, and then it was like, maybe she is 29, and she's just been on that Scottish diet of fucking batter and fags. You know? And fucking iron brew. It's hard to know. It's hard to fucking know. I feel, that's really... I feel sick. I don't know whether that's made me feel sick or it's because I had a Chinese last night out of pure just frustration. You know, it's like, I've mistimed my dinners here. I'm hungry. Let me get a Chinese. Here's the worst thing you can do with Chinese. Try and be healthy with it. Do you know? I was like, we can go get it quickly, but let's try and keep it clean. You know, I got a fucking beef and black bean sauce with a boiled rice. This is the problem with, you know, if you have any sort of cooking skills, a lot of things that you order, you're like, this just isn't good enough. Do you know? You shouldn't be buying a Chinese and then putting like your own stuff on it. You know, got it home, put a wee bit of soy sauce on the fucking noodles and the rice, put sriracha over it just to try and give it a bit of a kick. You know, the beef wasn't good. It was clearly fucking cut off like a roast or something like that. So it was like, it was the type of meat that needed cooked for ages, and they just cooked it pretty quickly. Weird. So that's probably why I feel sick today. Gross. Absolutely fucking gross. I'll tell you what I want, guys. If there's any fucking culchies out there, I want to buy a Jeep of some sort. And it's one of those things that people just call it a Jeep. You know, because it's a large 4x4. Even though it's a fucking Toyota. Because we were at Donegal at the weekend there, and which we'll talk about in a second. But we were driving up there, and it's very rugged. You know what I mean? We were on an island, basically, and we had to fucking go up this wee dirt path. And Maureen was like, you need to get yourself some sort of Jeep type thing, because you drive this like it's a Jeep. And I go, fucking right I do. Do you know what my middle name is? Reckless Abandon. You know? So I was fucking flying along, and then I was like, do you know what? That's what I'm going to buy. And here's what I don't want like something flashy like a rapper would have, you know? I don't want like a fucking Range Rover or some bullshit. I want a fucking old like, look at this one. 2003 Mitsubishi Shogun. That's what I want. $2,500. You know, I could. It's probably a heap of shit, like, but you know, we could go buy that today. Absolutely zero rust on the chassis. That is so culty, like. New battery, new discs and pads all around, new oil and filters. That's the sort of shit I want. Big fucking headlamps on the front. The bull bar. it's silver at the bottom, blue at the top. That's the sort of piece of shit that I want. And just fucking, that's what I want. I want one of those cars that you just like, you know, you take a mad fit and you're like, I'm just gonna fucking spray paint this. And they're like, professionally, and you're like, nah, with like 4 tins of spray paint that I've bought. You know, that's the type of, or you just stencil the roof of it. Who gives a fuck? Do you know what I mean? And they just never die. That's the sort of thing I want. Just drive to Donegal, hit all the potholes, just take it off road, take it on the beach, big knobbly tires. That's the sort of shit I want. You know, I would take a pickup. Apart from, they don't really tend to have that much room in them, do they? Maybe I don't know. That's what I want. That's the sort of fucking big out rough piece of shit that I want, you know. Put General Banter stickers all over it. Spray paint the wheels black. That's what I want. Big dirty fucking Jeep type number. You know, you accidentally bump into someone, you destroy their car. That's what I want. Donegal was some crack. We went up and it's like they should do a documentary on how nice Donegal people are, because they're just like, what did the man say to Maureen in the fucking shop? She bought like 2 Mars ice creams and she goes, and the guy was like, and something else, and the guy was like, oh, that's $5.20. He goes, it's $5.20. Is that okay? Is that okay? We're buying it in a shop. Well, that's there you go. That's gonna be $5.10 now. If you're okay with that, in a shop that you've willingly come into and bought 2 fucking Mars ice creams, that you're fully aware that of the exchange policy when it comes to money and goods. Is that okay if that's $5.10? She's like, yeah, it's okay. I'm wild nice, hey. That's what they're like. Going to a pub, you know. I mean, a guy. I've been in this pub before, actually, but we just called in for like 1 Guinness, and then I put a photo on Instagram. And I'll be honest with you, there was so much shit on the walls that I wasn't even aware that the right behind the shop was a Celtic top, and everyone's like, "You want a fucking Celtic?" I didn't even pay attention to that. I was just taking a photo, but seemingly everyone thinks I'm in the Ra now, which is great. But this guy, I mean, this actually happened. Guy comes in, got that sort of Shane McGowan vibe off him, or, you know, yellow face from the drink. And he basically walked past us, opened the door to the gents, barfed into the sink, turned round, and then was all like, oh, what's crack, people, and all these are from Tyrone. And obviously, like, Maureen's sister's boyfriend, Ewan, was talking to this guy outside. And he's like, he's up from Tyrone and all. He's up from Tyrone. And I was like, not me, bitch. But, and then he went off and on about fucking Tyrone and all sorts of shit. And everyone was like, wrap it up, big lad. And then at one point he goes, you know, I forget the name of it, you know, because, you know, from the drink, you know, but alcoholism and, you know, for my nerves or whatever. And I was like, that is so Irish that it's, you know, that's Ireland for you. You can't just turn around to your fucking mate and go, I'll tell you what, I feel like shit at the minute, and it'd be great if I could chat to you if you had any ideas about maybe how I could, you know, change, you know, like, just change my life a wee bit, you know. Let's bring this do you know how I can improve my life? Maybe if I don't feel good. But instead of that, they're like, oh no, I wouldn't want to bother you now with my feelings or whatever. Sure, you couldn't be walking around telling people that you don't feel good. Sure, you couldn't. I wouldn't want to bother you now. I'll just commit myself to 40 years alcoholism and a yellow face and boking in a fucking sink now. I don't want to be any trouble now. I wouldn't want a 5-minute chat with you now. Let me just bury my head over here in pints for 40 years and not be able to tell me arse from elbow, and then eventually fucking my liver will explode with cirrhosis. But you know, fucking wouldn't want to put anyone out now. For my nerves, you know. Got them bad nerves. So don't you worry, I'll be over here blocked and then secretly crying and, you know, staring into that sea every day, wishing I was in the bottom of it. But I don't know. I was just like, this is the saddest thing I've ever seen. Don't you be telling us your feelings or admitting that your life might be shit. You keep drinking. You bury that shit. Unreal. But yeah, we had a great time. We went to the same house that we stayed in before. My sister booked it. Only we were up with me, Maureen, Lucy, Ewan, my sister, her husband, and my cousin and her boyfriend. And we went up and it was pissing down, and we basically just chilled out, watched all the fights, all the boxing fights. Missed a few of them at the start. I mean, it was weird because I thought it was on BT Sport, which I think it was, but of course you're over the border and it was like, oh, this doesn't work in this country. And I was like, fuck. We fucking we watched all the fights. We had to get some illegal stream. Sorry about that, guys, but it was very hard to watch that fight, or all those fights. Paddy Barnes got fucking wrecked with a great body shot, in fairness, and went down like a heap of shit. I mean, sometimes you're like, just knock me out, because then I don't get to feel it. It's quick. I just wake up, go, what happened? And they're like, yeah, you got knocked out. And then body shots is like, and you just go, ah, oh fuck, like Peter Griffin, ow, ow. That's all you do. You feel every fucking bit of it. But yeah, that was rough. And then who else was fighting? The fucking Tyson Fury fight, which is such a load of bollocks, even though Deontay Wilder and all will be already fighting in fucking in Nando's, which is hilarious. I love that everyone goes to Belfast and, nobody like my sister used to do this when she worked in the Hilton. She would like send people to restaurants that she knew was good. So if they were like, oh, where's good to eat? They'd be like, right, we'll send you to fucking whatever good Belfast restaurants are. She'd send them over. But there's a lot of these people seem to be like, oh, let's walk around here, and then like, what's up? Oh, let's go to Nando's. And you're like, why are all these professional athletes in fucking Nando's eating chicken right now? What the fuck's going on here? Yeah, and apparently Deontay Wilder nearly got in a fight in there, which is insane. And then Fury had his fight, and then Wilder came in the ring, and he was like, yo, what's up, motherfuckers? And it was so fake. Even though Tyson Fury basically danced around for whatever amount of rounds he fought for there. And they're like, yeah, let's have a fight now. I have a feeling Deontay Wilder might beat the fuck out of him, but sure. I'll still watch it. And then Frampton, of course, fought a guy that looked like they just fucking pulled him out of a amateur boxing club somewhere, and Frampton beat the cunt out of him. They threw the towel in, if I recall correctly. It's funny because I've watched the bloopers to Eastbound and Down so many times that there's like a fucking blooper in it where someone goes, it's Will Ferrell, and he goes, if I recall correctly, and he fucks it up. And I've said that so many times, taking the piss, that now if I recall correctly, I will fuck it up. Mentalist. I was in Conway Mill. Is that what it's called? By the way, sorry, before I talk about that, right? Off the back of the drunk dude, fucking, the nerves and the alcoholism and all. I clicked on a link for that show, Intervention. I don't know what the fuck I was watching. And then that show, Intervention, came on. And I watched 4 of them straight away. I didn't watch all 4 of them because they're like 45 minutes long. It's the same sort of pattern. I just skipped through it. It was like, let's see what state these cunts are in. And it's basically people addicted to shit and then think they're taking part in a documentary about drugs, and then it turns out their family are gonna fucking, have an intervention for them. And it's very strange. Addiction, really, isn't it? It's very sad. And it's always just something else that never got sorted, and people are just trying to drown it out. There's one girl who was like bulimic and an alcoholic, and she lived with her family, and she was driving her family insane, and she would eat like fucking 6 piles of food every day and then barf it all up, and then eventually they're like, you need help, and she's like, okay, I'll get help. And then the mom was like, I'm gonna go through it with you. I'm gonna go through the treatment with you. And she's like, okay. And then they both go to fucking therapy. And then in the middle of the therapy, it comes out that she was like brutally raped in college and dropped out and was living with her family. And you're like, okay. Crazy that you could be brutally raped, not be able to say anything, and then just fucking have all these horrendous like addictions and eating disorders and everything off the back of it, while some dude's just walking around like, hey, what's up? Got the ride. Crazy. You know? Fucking crazy. Just tons of shit. There was one I watched, the girl was like a millionaire. Now, I don't know whether she was a millionaire or they were like, she got quite a lot of money in a divorce settlement. You know? And you're like, I mean, you don't know whether that helped. You know, if she was married to some dude and she was a fucking looper and drank too much, and the guy's like, listen, we gotta get this under control. And she's like, I can't. Then they get divorced, and then fucking, you know, like, lawyers argue over it, and they're like, she was used to a certain lifestyle because this guy was loaded, and then he has to fucking pay her like 10 million, and then you get someone who does nothing, who is an alcoholic, who has loads of money. And the girl was like, I can buy houses, I can buy cars, I can buy people, but money doesn't really make you happy. And she would just fucking booze it up all day. And you can always spot these ones because like they were wearing like normal clothes and shit that probably fit them at one stage, and then they just drank so much that they, you know, like they're walking along and their fucking jeans are falling down around their hole because they've lost like so much weight. And I always think when people are real fucking alcos, you know, no one's like, I'm an alcoholic, and like, what do you drink? And you're like, fucking just, I drink really nicely aged, you know, single malt Scotch whiskey. No one does that. They always end up drinking just shite. This girl was drinking like fucking, it looked like Malibu with Red Bull in it. And I was like, that's when you just don't give a shit. You're just like, get me cunted on something that tastes more pleasant than like raw vodka. And she's just pouring this shit and like drinking it. And then, but she was, I mean, I feel like she really had some fucking serious issues going on that probably weren't addressed, and she's just trying to swamp them with drink. And because like when the camera crews were there, she grabbed the fucking handful of these pills and just necked them all. And they were like, what did you do there? And she's like, I took them all. And then they had to rush her to fucking hospital, and she stopped breathing and all this shit. And then the next day it was like, my mother spiked me. And you're like, okay, you know, you're like, it's a terrible word, like, but you're going crazy. Like you've some issue, whether it's fucking, I actually don't know what you would even call that. Is it schizophrenia or something, or would it be like a dementia? I don't know what the fuck it was, but she was completely losing her mind. Like, it was goddamn terrifying. There was another dude who was just like, him and his wife drank a lot. They had a kid. The wife decided she was going to come off drink for a while, and they're saying like, if you drink that much and you're going to stop drinking, you need to fucking go to hospital, basically. And the guy fucking didn't stop drinking. The wife stopped drinking for a couple of days and had a seizure and died. And that's pretty much the same shit that happened to fucking Amy Winehouse. Yeah, so like if you're boozing it all day every day, you can't just stop. You gotta go somewhere and have treatment, which is fucked up. You know, wild shit. This guy got up at 6:30 in the morning because he was getting the shakes in his fucking sleep, and he fucking would just start drinking beer, and they were like, yeah, he pretty much has a tin of beer every 15 minutes all day. So this guy was chugging fucking hundreds of beers per week, and he would just have a curtain that he just slid to the side and fucked the beer tin in, and it was like a homemade bin that was like almost like a tube of fencing that was about fucking 6 foot high, and he would just keep throwing cans in it, and then at the end of the week they had to empty this thing, and it looked like a fucking recycling plant. Just so many tins. And that guy lost weight. That's what cracked me up. They were like, yeah, he's lost about 100 pounds. He lost about 100 pounds from all he does is drink beer that never eats. And I was thinking, do you know what? Maybe that's what I'll try. Maybe if I just don't eat and drink beer all fucking day. Because I was like, maybe if I cut beer out, I might lose some fucking weight. And then it's like, nah. You gotta cut out the food, and then you just keep drinking beer. And you drink about 100 of them a day. And you're flying, mate. You're absolutely flying. That will be rough. Like, you know, at some point you got to make the switch to the spirits, because, you know, there's no fucking way you can just drink that much beer. I would get sick of beer. Like, I would have to make the switch. But this guy just powered through it. But anyway, that was depressing as fuck, what I was just talking about there. But that's the thing. You gotta look at why you're drinking, guys. Are you drinking like? I can drink a lot, and I don't drink as frequently as I used to. But when I do drink, I like to drink lots of drink, and but you gotta here's more. You gotta ask yourself, like, why are you drinking? Do you know? Are you drinking because your mates are around, you're having a good time, or are you drinking because to deal with some other shit? Because that's when there's definitely times when I've been like, I'm not gonna drink tonight, and like, what? More and be like, why? And I'm like, because I was angry. I was angry about shit today. And I don't want to fucking drink tonight, or else I'll just be angrier, probably. I want to drink as a celebration. There's Maureen flashing her buttocks at me there. Very nice. Great. Hot stuff. As she puts something in the outside bin. Slightly distracted by the butt. That's my new book, you know. In my first recording of the podcast, I can't remember what path I went down, but I ended up slagging off this song. I was talking about beats that are good, with rappers that are shite. That's Drake, though, he's good. Where's this other retard? Brand new whip got no keys. Tailor my clothes, no starch, please. It's like rappers. It's like, just because it rhymes doesn't mean you should put it in a rhyme. As soon as I nut, you can go on leave. Got M's in the bank, like, yes indeed. You can go leave. Got M's in the bank, like, yes indeed. Cartier glasses, I won't even peek at you. Yellow Ferrari like Pikachu. I got him waiting and watching what he gon' do. Tryna pee what I do, tryna steal my moves. 2,500 for a new. Fuck it. There's another piece of excitement has happened in my life. If anyone's aware of, there's a thing in Belfast called the Power of Video. What's this guy sent me? What the fuck is this? What's this? This is a guy getting red up the ass. There's people genuinely watching that sort of, oh, there's a guy getting his ball bag smacked. Alright, the guys just sent me a load of dirty videos. I don't understand this. Oh yeah, there's a thing in Belfast called the Power of Video, which is run by the guys at Speed Motion, Billy and fucking Damien there. And they invite all these big speakers from all over the world, really well-known YouTubers. They've had Casey Neistat in the past. They've had Peter McKinnon, all that bullshit. And they're doing it again this year, and they got in touch with me. Why was it not in the first year? Anyway. No, I know why. It's because I'm not really a video guy. I'm a comedian who utilizes video. But sure. Yeah, I've actually changed flights. I was missing the Saturday. It's on a Friday, Saturday, 7th and 8th of September. And I was only available kind of on the 7th. But I actually changed flights because they were like, yeah, it'd be amazing if you could do the Saturday. So I changed flights. So I think there's tickets on sale for that. It's like a whole load of talks and fucking whatever bullshit. I think I'm doing a panel. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be comfortable with doing a talk because I don't really know if I'm qualified for that shit. But I'll do a panel if there's people asking questions about videos and shit. But yeah, I don't know how much tickets are, but you could look them up. It's probably, if you're into that sort of shit, you know, if you like making stuff online, if you like making videos, if you like even knowing about, you know, how fucking Instagram and YouTube and stuff are working in the future, it's a cool thing, and there's just usually cool shit happening. You'll see cool videos. Yeah, it might be a cool thing. It's very cool, you know. I say cool a lot there. I don't know what it entails for me, but I'm doing the Saturday now, I think. That guy Aaron Kraskell is going, you know that guy? Fucking, what's his name? Is that the It's Going Right in My Basket guy? It might not be. It might be another dude. I don't know what the fuck he does. He makes videos, but I thought he was a comedian. Kept being billed as a comedian, and I said to the guy that runs Power Video, I was like, if he's in town a bit earlier, you could ask him if he wanted to do Laveries. And then he goes, I don't know if he's a stand-up comedian. And I was like, well then don't bother asking him, because that motherfucker get ate up in Laveries, know what I'm saying? In the fucking Shark Tank. Drop you in like one of those, just those documentaries, they drop like a dead lamb into like piranha fucking water, and then they take it out and it's nothing but bones. It's Laveries, bitch. Rolling with the heavyweights, literally. Fucking bunch of big fat funny cunts around there. Where's all the women? I don't fucking know. You know, we have about 2 female comedians a year who fucking perform because they don't exist. And if they do, I've spoken about this before, the percentage of them that is good is the same that's the percentage of good male comedians. Except their numbers are, the ratio is the same, the numbers are way less. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, don't fuck about with Laveries. Don't just stroll in there. Oh, I'm sort of a comedian. My fucking life. So I'll be doing Power Video. Went down to their offices, really cool offices. As I was talking to this guy Billy, if I had to describe him, big husky guy, you know, big beard, fabulous smile, and some lady was walking in. She was like a photographer, and her bag, like her tripod, was about to fall off the back. And he's like, "Oh, watch, your tripod's about to fall." And she's like, "Oh, thank you." And then they came back through the cafe again, and the guy was like, her husband or whatever was like, "You know, you've got a wonderful face. You know, if you ever had your photograph taken professionally, you should come up to the thing upstairs and we'll take your photo." And he's like, "Really? Cool, that's really cool." And I'm sitting there, of course, going like, if it's amazing faces you're looking, take a look at this fucking Voldemort / Eastern European drug dealer. Huh? Over here? If you're talking amazing faces, what are you, fucking blind? Fuck me, look. But yeah, I wasn't what they were after, to be honest, at the time. Unbelievable. I can't wait till this podcast is over so that I can just go watch loads of intervention. Here, how about the CrossFit Games is over, and I was watching some highlights, and I'm a fair weather fan of CrossFit, and by that I mean once they've edited the film and it's all highlights, that's when I'll watch it. You know what I mean? Like someone uploaded like, oh, here's the full event one, which was all the CrossFit athletes rode a marathon. So they got on a fucking rower and they rode for 3 hours till they completed a marathon. And I was like, no, I'll watch the edited down version of that where they've inserted some drama, but I'm not going to watch it all like that. But one of the events was fucking madness. It gave me anxiety watching it. It's either called Chaos, or that's just what someone called it in the video. It's basically where they just tell them to set off on these exercises, and they don't tell them. They're like, "Hey, go ahead there, just do fucking burpees." How many am I doing? We'll find out. They only have to do like 30, but the fact that you don't know you have to do 30, you're like, what sort of pace did I set off at here? You know, and then eventually they're like, right, you're done. You've done 30. On to the next one. What's next? Oh, you're doing like fucking jumps over a box that's like up to your nipples. How many am I doing? You'll find out. Just keep going. Fuck that. Fuck all that. It literally gave me fucking anxiety watching it. We'll hit some questions here. That's what we'll do. I will stop and start this video because we're running on a different camera today. This probably looks a lot better than a GoPro. If I could figure out how to record on this bastard for constantly, we would be laughing. And we are indeed back. The old podcast done in 15 bits today. Excuse me. Let's hit these questions. Now, let me just, real quick.
Oh, shit.
That's me. That's me talking. How embarrassment. Is there DMs in this bitch? Shit, son. Okay. Oh my god, have I loads of questions here? Oh my god. Loads of questions. Let me just fucking... Oh my god. Oh my god. Loads of questions. Let me see these. I am overwhelmed. Look how many there is. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck? What? Play video replay?
Well, Peter, this is an interesting street fight here. One kid with legs, the
Oh yeah, somebody sent me that. It's a guy fighting and he's got no legs. Or he does. He's got two like fucking prosthetic legs, and then he gets in a fight and he pops them off, and Jesus Christ, and he ends up beating the shit out of this guy, and he's got no legs. But there's a documentary on Netflix about that. That's what happens. You know, the guy fucking what's this? You get into a fight and you got no legs, you end up fighting someone that's the same weight as you who has legs, and it tends to be like their upper body is going to be a lot smaller than yours because you're probably you're missing half a body, and then you can dominate them, bro. That's what happens. It's phenomenal. What do you think of shoes that sell for hundreds? Heard you mention your pink Janoskis. Do you ever think that you could justify a really expensive pair? I don't know. It would get to a point where I just wouldn't do it. Where I'm just like, because especially when ones, like they look like other ones kind of, and they're like, oh yeah, these Air Force ones cost £1,500, and you're like, well, so. I'm a big believer in just like if the shoes are cool, they're cool. It doesn't matter really where you get them from, Yeah, I don't think it matters. I mean, I wish I'd have kept all the fucking shoes I've had throughout my lifetime, because a lot of them have come full circle now. Back in the fucking Arctic Monkeys, like Libertines days, and everyone was running around in fucking Converse that were all fucked up. Nobody gave a shit about like Air Force Ones and fucking low dunks and shit, and you could walk into TK Maxx and just buy yourself like 3 pairs of like Air Force Ones that were all fucking, I remember I had a yellow, it was yellow and grey, the bottom was yellow and then grey, and then the whole shoe was kind of grey, and then they had yellow laces. They were lethal. If I seen them now, I would probably spend fucking £200 on them, and I just fucking, no one really likes these, I'll bin them. Wish I'd have kept them all. Derbyshire. It looks like a fucking Viking there. Planning on doing any more vlogs. I enjoy watching them when I'm meant to be working. Good lad. Yeah, I always would like to do more vlogs. It's just kind of like I'll film if I'm doing an interesting thing, but a lot of the time it's like a lot of vloggers are like, yeah, I vlog every day, and you're making films around a load of bollocks. I like to do things that I think would be exciting and then film them, and then try and put together something after it. But what I'm going to do today, I think, is I'm going to do one, and it's going to go on YouTube, called The Footage Dump, and it's about 4 or 5 things that I've filmed, and it didn't feel like a full vlog, so I might just put that together. Like I could put together something from the weekend in Donegal, because they just don't have a start and an end. They just kind of go, here's some footage from a thing, the time me and Mickey got tattoos, the time when Sean Campbell was over and we went to fucking Silent Valley, which was kind of not much happened. But you know what I mean? I might just put a video up that's like 20 minutes long that has like 5 mini vlogs in it. So that's what I'll do, Mr. Derbyshire. Do you find it hard to separate the person from their art? For example, if someone is a ball bag like R. Kelly but has some serious tunes, how do you view that? Boycott or nah? I mean, I don't know if I've... The closest I've come to that is... like Louis C.K. apparently is like flashing his dick at people. And you're like... I know what comedians are like, and a lot of them are fucking loopers. So if all he did was basically go, "Oh, do you mind if I take my dick out?" and someone had the choice to be like, "Yeah, I might leave," I honestly am like, is that even that bad? I don't know. He's a weirdo, but is he a fucking? It's weird. It's very fucking weird. But if he put out a special, I would absolutely still watch it. So R. Kelly, I don't give a fuck about though. Another thing that happened was like, Josh from Queens of Stone Age kicked a photographer in the face, and I'm like, that's a fairly wank move. Will I still listen to your music? Ignore that. Absolutely, I'll fucking listen. Whatever happened to Thomas Tanker Smythe? 1,000 times later. Thoughts on Billy Connolly? Apparently his illness is so bad he can't recognize close friends anymore. Yeah, that's the nightmare of life, isn't it? The nightmare of life is that's the sort of scary thing about death. It's like, what way do you want to die? Do you know, you could be like terrified of like, oh, I'm just gonna drop dead of a heart attack. But the sad thing is, that's not a fucking bad way to go, because you can live for a long time and deteriorate very slowly. Ultimately, you want to live for a long, long time. I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to live for ages and die in your fucking sleep is what you want to do. But very few people get to experience that. Don't know. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. The losing the mind thing is the saddest, especially when you're fucking, you know, a person like Billy Connolly who's a fucking genius, like a brilliant mind, and you're like, he's losing his mind, and it's sad. It seems to be sadder when it's a comedian. Do you know what I mean? Like, you get Billy Connolly, Richard Pryor died in a fucking horrendous way. Robin Williams, pretty horrendous death. It's just sad that all he really did was make people laugh forever, and then they just that's the way you go out. Like, it's pretty fucking shit. Yeah, it's fucked up. I mean, there's, like, my great granny had pretty bad fucking dementia. She was old as shit. It was bad. I think my granda had Parkinson's. But I don't know, it's like, do people like take care of themselves the way they never really used to take care of themselves the way they do now, is what I'm saying. Like, even though it's probably technically unhealthier, but if people are, there seems to be a bit of a health movement where it's like, if you're a bit more aware of what you fucking eat, and you're a bit more aware that you need to exercise all the time. And I know people are like, oh, people used to have jobs where they walked around but nobody really took care of themselves. People just like aged without really trying to fight back at it. You know what I mean? Oh, I work doing this, and you work, and then you're like, oh, there's my of the bad knee now, and then you don't walk around as much, and then start to put on weight, and they're like, it just is a straight deterioration. Do you know what I mean? There's no like maintenance of life. Nobody's drinking fucking kale shakes and taking vitamins and shit like that. Back when my granda was like in his fucking 20s or something. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I even think about like the amount of sport or physical activity I've done compared to even like my dad. And there's like, I played fucking football. And you're like, yeah, but when you were like 14? I don't mean you have to play competitive sports, but it's like, I don't know if he's lifted a weight in his fucking life. or stretched. You know what I mean? Have you? Has he even stretched recently? I don't know. You don't know whether like, are we gonna be able to keep our bodies slightly fitter just through like science and knowledge? But then just looking at your phone all day and poisoning your mind, is your mind gonna fucking melt first? Who knows? But yeah, it's definitely very sad that Billy Connolly's in that state. Who knows? Can you give Paddy O'Kane a shout out? Oh, too late. He stalks your life and he's fucking off to England, dude. Cheers, Paddy O'Kane. That's from Brona. I'm not going to start doing shout outs, by the way, because what happened there was I did a shout out by accident because I didn't pre-read these. And what's happened is someone at home's going, yeah, and everyone else is going, I don't know who the fuck Paddy O'Kane is. So maybe less of the shout outs, dickhead. Mate, just wanted to say I've been going through a tough time with my mental health following a breakup and other issues. Been following your podcast for ages, and they legit pulled me through some bad patches over the last few weeks. Talking about it and laughing really is the best medicine. Who'd have thought laughing my ass off? I've lost that. At you narrating Brian Silva's gay porn would have been the first thing to make me laugh in days. Keep up the good work. Honestly, you have no idea the difference you make to someone's day. Making them laugh and smile. Cheers. I can't thank you enough. Cheers. I'm not even going to say her name. You probably don't want to shout it out there. But yeah, that's amazing. Thanks very much for that message. It's fucking weird, isn't it? Like when, like breakups and shit like that. Because it's like, how many times in your life have you maybe felt like shit or something, and then all you gotta do is wait. Like that's all you have to do is just go, let me just wait long enough till this doesn't fucking bother me anymore. We watched Swingers last night, and if you haven't seen it, it's probably one of my favourite films ever. I love it, but I don't know why this happens so much. It's like the guy's going out with this girl, they split up, they have a long distance relationship, she gets a new boyfriend, and all he does is fucking never shuts up about this girl. Like always checking his fucking messages and shit like that. Whereas this girl and his mates try and cheer him up by taking him to like Las Vegas, and he's like, oh, I miss this guy, whatever. It's a really cool film. It's like shot in a casino and cool parties, and the music's all swing music because apparently at a certain time in the 90s, like a lot of punk bands started playing swing. Fuck knows. But yeah, eventually he runs into this girl. His mates are trying to, like, oh, you're so money, baby, and like trying to get him to pull all these women. And then eventually he meets fucking Heather Graham in a club and hits it off with her and goes home, and she rings and he realizes, oh, she's as bad at fucking chatting people up as I am. And then as he's on the phone with her, the other call comes in, and it's his girlfriend that he's been fucking gurning about for the whole film. And now he's like, oh, do you know what? I got this other girl who I actually really like, so yeah, fuck you. And then all his mates are like, she finally rang you and you didn't want to speak to her and all. So that's life, isn't it? You're like, oh, I'm so gutted about something for ages and ages and ages. And you're like, just give it enough time to where you don't give a fuck about it anymore. And you're literally laughing at yourself. And then inevitably you fucking find someone else or something else. Do you know? Oh, I didn't get this. It's like, I don't know many things you look back in your life at and you're just like, see if that happened to me now, I wouldn't give a fuck. Oh man, I failed this exam by 1 mark. Who gives a fuck? Do you know? The amount of jobs I'd have just went. Now, I'm weird because I'm in two minds where I'm like, I'm like the amount of jobs I'd have just fucking rang in and went, I'm leaving. I'll just get another job and be skint for fucking 6 weeks until I get another job. Instead of going like, oh, this is literally making me lose sleep because I don't want to go in and fucking do it. Looking back on it now, I'd just be like, hello? Yeah, I'm not going to come in today. Why not? You're not going to get your... Yeah, whatever. Suck my dick. That's what I'd have done. So many things don't matter, like when you look back on them, do they? just breeze on through life, guys. You know what I mean? Coming from the guy who is a mess 24/7, but sure. As someone who is now an influencer as fuck, do you get many vaginas thrown at you after gigs, send nudes, etc.? Kevin Faulkner. No. I get 0 nudes. I had someone send me a picture of one of their tits once, and I don't know if it was a male or a female tit, if I'm being fully honest with you. No, none of that. No one coming up after gigs. I mean, I've definitely been borderline sexually assaulted a couple of times by like just gross middle-aged women who, hey, if we're talking about toxic, but yeah, none of that. There's no girl. The closest that ever happened was some guy was like, will you do shots with me and my friends? And it was literally like a movie where you like look over and there's like 3 other girls like all going and I was like, well, seeing that my fiance is here, probably not. And then I was like, Aaron, get the fuck over here now. And the McCann's all like, oh, I just gotta go home, I have to fucking. And I was like, you fucking get over there and you take shots with these fucking wee girls and fucking fuck all of them. I don't know, I have to go home and fucking listen to Tyler the Creator and make a fake vagina out of a rubber glove and a fucking face cloth. But yeah, no, none of that. I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know why. No, it's never happened. It's never happened. No one comes up to me. No one sends me like sneaky like, oh, what's the crack? You know? No one's sliding them at DMs. No one's coming up to me. I've no gauge on any, you know, like I would never be like, oh yeah, some girls fancy me. I've no gauge on that whatsoever. Do you know? It makes me question Maureen, like, are you nuts? Because why? Do you know what I'm saying? And then all I do all day is I must be some level of attractive if my wife is that hot. Do you know what I'm saying? You know? And it's not that I'm a millionaire and my dick's huge and my car's sweet. It's none of that shit. You know? I don't know what the fuck it is. But there must be some level of attractiveness there. I don't know. I have no gauge on it whatsoever. That should be a Tinder thing, you know, just like for your own confidence. Well, I suppose that's what it is. I was going to say, you know, you should be a thing where people just like rate you and then you're able to go like, well, see, that would be bad as well. If you were just like, well, then they would have to break it down like, you know, like a fight, just like overall attractiveness, whatever, face, body, whatever, you know what I mean? And then you could be like, listen, I'm not that great in the face, but I've got a 9 out of 10 body. You know, you play up your. There's plenty of people do that. Plenty of munters have 6-packs. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but yeah, there's not a lot of fanny being thrown at me after gigs. Now, if I was, and no disrespect to anyone who does this, if I was playing Wonderwall in the beer garden of a pub on a Saturday night, and I was kind of like one of these unwashed kind of cool dudes and like a little bit mysterious and wearing a ring on this finger. Today was gonna be the day to get the best, yeah. There'd be 2 girls just like, gong, 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 gong. You're so talented. Can I go back to your ma's fucking shed and buck you? But, you know, comedians don't get it. What's your thoughts on content creators such as Casey Neistat and PewDiePie? I don't know much about the PewDiePie guy, but if it's something to do with gaming, I'm not going to go anywhere near it. Casey Neistat, I do enjoy the odd Casey Neistat video. Yeah, Casey Neistat's definitely. See, he's a fucking filmmaker who decided to do vlogs. That's why his are so good. And what annoys me is that everybody copies him. I try my hardest not to fucking have things that look like fucking Casey Neistat, because that's what everyone does. Same writing, same fucking style of music. That's why I'll try and use like hip hop beats as music, and I don't want anything too happy and chirpy. I'll try and use some of that. I'm not a big fan of like filler or B-roll. I've said it before. Fuck B-roll. But yeah, I like Casey Neistat. PewDiePie, I don't really know much about him other than he hates blacks. Bit late now, but how did you feel about the Ulster Hall crowd? Literally the best show I've been to. But it was a bit like being in a bus depot. No one would sit down, go into the bar, etc. Show was amazing, and that's from Ellie McSee. I've said it before. I mean, there's certain things you can do in life, right? My fucking doing too many deadlifts, bro. Next, kill me. There's certain things. There's certain things that look good that aren't that great. So, like, for example, you could get on fucking BBC Northern Ireland and someone goes, "Oh my god, you got a show on BBC." Little do they know you're working for less money than you normally would work for if you're a person who creates videos or does comedy. It's going out to a smaller crowd and you're more restricted. So what looks good to someone else and what actually is good is different. Whereas I'd much rather make something myself and put it out to my crowd and people appreciate it and then people come to my show. Another version of that is if you go, I'm doing the Limelight twice in October, people go, "Oh, very cool. Yeah, I might see if I can get that." Same amount of people. Way better gig than an Ulster Hall. Better atmosphere, better sound system, better crew running it, better everything. More enjoyable for the performer. It's tighter. It's a smaller building. It's got a vibe to it. You tell someone, you're like, "I'm doing Limelight twice," whatever. You go, "I'm doing Ulster Hall." People go, "You're doing the Ulster Hall? Fuck me. Look at you, fucking mister." They give you all that shit because it looks better, but it's less enjoyable for the crowd to go to because the bar doesn't let you bring drinks in. Like, what was her name there? Ellie. Like she said, it's fucking too vast. There's people just up, down, whatever. You don't know who you're sitting beside. Someone's been drinking all fucking day. It's a mess. Yeah, the sound's not great. It's whatever. It's not that good. So yeah, it's just not that well run. And do you know what I mean? You're paying all these fees for what you're expecting, like a crew at the thing, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't have a stage manager tonight, so what I'm going to do is, if you can give me your phone number, I'll text you, and then you announce yourself on stage." And you're like, "All right, the legendary Ulster Hall here." So yeah, I'm sure you enjoyed yourself to a certain extent, but yeah, people just up and down, going to the bar, whatever. It's a mess. Like, it's too big. But yeah, I'll be doing the Limelight. So make sure you get yourself a ticket to that, Ellie. How about that? You'll enjoy yourself a lot more. It's a riot. Best place you've ever spent on a holiday anywhere in the world and for whatever reason. Best place, I don't know. I mean, I've been to Vietnam twice. I haven't done a lot of traveling. I mean, come back to me at the end of the year when I've done LA and a bunch of places in Europe. But yes, the best place I've ever been is probably Vietnam. Just don't know what I did there. A small beatbox. It's just class. Like, it's just mad. Yeah, it's class. Like, everywhere we went had its good points. Like, obviously, like Ha Long Bay is fucking ridiculous. Hoi An's very pretty. Then the big cities like Hanoi's like real dirty proper Vietnam, old buildings and shit. Ho Chi Minh's a bit more modern, I would say. But yeah, that's it really. What about that video Aaron put up the other day of the family leaving? Fuck, I done some laughing at it. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know. Podcast question: did you watch James Gallagher from Strabon's debut fight on Bellator? It seemed like the whole lead up to the fight was him trying to be the next McGregor with being mouthy and cocky, and he ended up getting knocked out in the first round. Do you think being mouthy and cocky is the way to be if you haven't got the ability McGregor has? Love your work. I mean, you can't blame him. If he's trained in the same fucking gym as like the most famous fighter in the world, it's gonna rub off. You know what I mean? If he's a young guy, he's seeing McGregor absolutely killing it, being cocky, whatever. Yeah, I mean, that's the way he's gonna be. You know, it's a well-known fact that a lot of fighters nowadays who do the most slobbering get the most fucking coverage. So he's probably gonna do that. It's just like McGregor is special. Do you know what I mean? He's just the accuracy and the speed and everything, and that left hand means that he can just fucking put people out. And I don't know what James Gallagher's history of fights is like. I'm pretty sure, did I see him fight in Belfast and he choked a guy out? Something like that. But yeah, McGregor's so fucking cocky because I talked about this with Sean, you know, like, it's like he's just one of those fighters. It's like Damian Maia or something. All he has to do is get his hands on you and it's game over. Khabib is like, all he has to do is get you to the floor and you're not getting up. McGregor's like, all he has to do is hit you on the face and you're going to sleep. And he's quicker than you and he's more accurate. And the way he's built means that he's quite big for his weight class and everything. So it's like, that's what's scary about him. It's like, I don't even want to fucking flinch here and show an opening because he's just going to fucking hit me right in the point of the chin here. I don't know. But yeah, he's just trying to follow in the footsteps. And then he came out after and he's like, listen, you know, I'm the one out there fucking slobbering and I have to deal with the consequences and all that shit. But yeah, he got beat up, like, in fairness. He got caught and then he must have been all over the place and then he was just getting fucking emptied. And then that like side kick to the mouth. Ugh. Gross. For your love of dirty blues, check out this live album. I don't know what you've sent me. Been listening to a lot of Irish music recently. Anything from Christy Moore to Damien Dempsey to Jedward. Came across this from the Sands family. Thought you might enjoy the video. I can't click it. Oh, that was the last fucking question. I can't click that, bro. Man, that's fucking upsetting. Let me see if I can click on this link. I can't. That's the problem with fucking sending someone on Instagram. I can't even copy that link. Sorry, bro. I don't even know what you're trying to present to me there. Fuck, dude. As far as I know, that's the end of the questions, folks. Sadly. We've eaten up all the fucking other ones. Do I have any Twitters? Let me check. No. I've had the most Twitter action I've ever had because I retweeted a thing from Cormac McDermott from the Notorious Barrack Boys. Which was a picture of a guy with a baby, and then it says, "Why is this baby a Sinn Féin community worker?" And there's just a wee fucking ugly ginger baby. He looks a bit like Alan Irwin. No offense, I'm not saying you're an ugly ginger guy, Alan, but that baby definitely fucking looks like you, I'm afraid. Anyway, I think we're gonna wrap this motherfucking this motherfucking podcast up. It started weird with the old Scottish gangbang in the woods.
No, I'm not gonna quit. I just think it's bullshit.
This is a funny bit from Intervention, apparently.
Read your letter.
Dear Jen, I am here today.
Her voice is so American and high pitched that it's like fucking distorting the mic. People don't cry good.
And now the truth has come true.
This girl is a fucking fat mess. And she's all fucking like sloppy because she's blitzed all the time.
Still sometimes it's hard to understand that the girl I spent years sharing my life with and enjoying so many memories and experiences with has become the person I am confronting today. You have become a ghost, Jen. I felt empty, numb, and betrayed when you showed up at my grad party plastered, making out with 3 different guys, and finally winding up naked, having sex with one of them in front of the entrance where people walked in and out of the party.
Now, This is what cracks me up about, first of all, I don't know who's worse, dudes or this girl. Because it's like, you made out with 3 guys. First of all, she's like a mess, just like, anything will do. And then these dudes are like, oh yeah, I'll go with you. Even though you're disgusting, fucking sloppy mess. And
I'm hurt, insulted, and offended that
and then someone's gonna look at her. She's out of her mind.
you can't recognize how your actions impacted me that night. Please, will you get help?
And then listen.
Internet sucks. I'll say that.
She goes, I need sex. I'll just say that. I need sex. That's the world for you, you know? You got the fucking girl who is sitting there with like a fucking fat gut hanging out over her jean shorts. Like, I need sex. And the sad part about that is she can get sex. Do you know? That's the sad part, is some dude will just be like, okay. Do you know, if that was a guy and he was just like, looked like me with fucking fat belly hanging out, just be like, tell you what, I need that bucking. People will be like, no, you have a lot of improvements to make before anyone's going to consider bucking you. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas that girl is like, I'm basically just a walking hole if you want to get inside it. That's the world, guys. Get working on yourselves, you know? Unbelievable. If anyone's selling a fucking Toyota 4x4, give me a shout. I want to buy one, and I want to fucking just all spray paint it and just rake about fields. That's all I want to do. And it's been a strange day, guys. The weather's dull outside. It's a weird day. Patreon.com/The General Banter Podcast if you want to support this podcast. I'm putting up the secret sort of Instagram page. I'll just start posting on it. I don't know what route we're gonna go down. As far as content with the secret page. If you're on the Patreon page, I'm gonna make a post, and you'll be able to follow that Instagram. And that's it, really, folks. You can indeed donate to this podcast, and it helps keep this basically a job for me instead of something I used to do for fun, for free, for a long time. Now I have a commitment to do it because there is an income. Am I rolling in cash? Does my brand new whip have no keys? Well, the brand new whip I want is from 2003 and probably absolutely does have keys. But got no my clothes, no stash, please. Soon as I nut, you go, please. Jesus Christ. But yeah, it all goes back into it, you know. It helps me keep pumping out these podcasts. It helps me invest it back in, you know. A lot of the cool new merch that's coming out wouldn't have been possible without the people from Patreon. There will be a discount code for Patreon people, you know. So yeah, it's all good. Patreon.com/General Banter Podcast. If you listen to the Blind Boy podcast, he's always like, if you met me, would you buy me a coffee once a month? And if you're like, oh, I listen to your podcast, I listen to 8 of your podcasts a month, let me buy you a fucking pint. That's it. That's kind of the exchange that's going on here. So if you want to donate to the podcast, Patreon.com/General Banter Podcast, and that's it, folks. There will be new merch on the way. There will be tickets on sale. There will be new posters advertising those motherfucking things. So yeah, we'll see you next week. Definitely not gonna get monetized this week either. Yellow Ferrari like Pikachu. I got him waiting and watching what he gonna do. Trying to pee what I do, trying to steal my moves. 2,500 for a new horseshit. See you later.